And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
It's never going to get old, I say, every year when we have a new song. Hey, everyone, it's The Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. I'm your host, Big J. Oakerson. Dan Soder's off doing some billion stuff, but have no fear. We're able to fill that chair with the funniest human beings in America, and today is no exception. You know him as one-third of the Legion of Skanks. He has his own show on the Gas Digital Network, Part of the Problem, and he has his new special, Libertas, coming out, I believe, September 11th. That's right. I had to look up, but I was right. September 11th. Very, very symbolic there, yeah. I feel. Everybody's the hilarious. Dave Smith is here. Yeah!
Come
Dave
on.
Smith! Dave Smith!
All right, come on.
Dave Smith! Dave Smith!
You're too kind. You're too kind. What an incredible setup you guys have here. When I first got an email that you and Soder were doing a podcast, I thought it was fantastic. I was happy to come join. Whew.
It was good news. Yes, that's right, Dave. This is the Bonfire.
This is the Bonfire.
This is what we're on right now, yeah.
Okay.
Can you believe it's all come to fruition?
I can't.
Very excited to have you in, man. I did get a chance to sneak peek your special, and it was fantastic.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That is the word on the street, that it's brilliant, cutting edge. The game will never be the same.
It'll be coming out for sale directly. Is it iTunes going to be?
Yeah, everywhere. It's like iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, anywhere you get digital content. But you can go to gasdigitalnetwork.com, and you can get all of our, me and you, all our podcasts are up there.
Yeah, we were talking about digital content on the way up here, actually. Just the idea of cable versus no cable. You were making me laugh saying that there was in the 90s, and that is true, when a lot of people had illegal cable. Remember friends who had illegal cable?
I knew so many people whose dads had illegal cable, and now that I'm an adult, you just look back at those people and you're like, pay your fucking cable bill, man. Like, I think also at the time cable was like $30 a month or something. It was like nothing for cable. Don't you have a job? Just pay for your cable. Like, I think about my friends' dads, like, you do nothing. You do nothing except watch TV.
Paying for cable, or the people who would have the box that would unlock all the channels and all that goofy shit.
Did I tell you, by the way, I paid $300 for the Mayweather-McGregor fight.
Wow.
I have to go fight it, but because I paid on the UFC app and then it just wouldn't work. And then I paid on another app and it wouldn't work. And then finally, literally, I'm sitting there. I invited people over. I had company. I was sitting there. I had to run upstairs and get my PlayStation and set it up to my television because nothing on the Roku box was working. They were like all flooded.
The embarrassment of that situation, too. You gotta
I've got 20 people over.
But you also gotta keep cursing to yourself a little bit because fuck guys. Oh, fuck, man. Fuck. It's just like stupid shit. Let me see if I can get this thing twisted in here.
Oh, dude, it was more like everyone else was just laughing. Everyone else was just laughing and busting my balls, and I'm just trying to laugh along with him. We're like, it is funny. It is funny. It's getting pretty fucking annoying. It is funny. It's going to be a real thing. Like, if we can't see the fight, we can't see the fight though then, guys. So it's not. But then PlayStation, my knight in shining armor.
How many times as an adult have you cursed the words fucking thing? Fucking thing? Something's just not working, a remote control or something. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Some element of convenience that you are just yelling at an inanimate object.
Oh, dude, when you come back down, and then you just look at your girlfriend and realize that she just has no respect for you as a human being anymore because she just saw you treat a video game situation like you lost a family member. And you just look at her and you're like, yep, that's what you're in bed with.
And he goes, no, I gotta start the fucking thing over.
It's so utterly meaningless. It's amazing once that emotion's gone, you're like, wow, that could not have been more pointless. I played 4 seasons last year. Well, I don't even remember which one that was.
Well, dude, me and you used to have that great things we would play together against each other so much in sports. Oh. And if some person lost 3 in a row, we had to get up, walk away from it. This is back when you smoked cigarettes too, and I would get up and go smoke it. And halfway through the cigarette, you finally get that thing where you're like, so, you want to watch something on TV or something? You didn't talk for a minute because it was a real anger where you're like, fucking stupid game, and it's like, oh, way to win by 20. You just really way to twist the knife while it's already in there, Dave, you dickhead. Just get angry at each other.
It'll always be a thing. It's like if you win 3 in a row and then you're on a fast break and you do a reverse dunk, you're like, so you're just showboating now. Right. So you're just trying to clown me in my own arena? Okay. All right.
Had nothing to do with you. All right, motherfucker.
You're throwing alley-oops in the fourth.
I don't think anyone in this room, I mean, Soder is, but no one else is a video gamer in here, I don't believe, right? Jacob, you don't give a shit. You're too busy exercising. Black Lou, maybe?
Yeah, I play sometimes.
What do you play?
I have a PS4.
Nice.
Big fan of Grand Theft Auto. Definitely Madden, all the 2Ks, Call of Duties. Yeah, that's me.
Those are some solid games.
Those are weird go-betweens, though.
No, I like Grand Theft Auto and Madden's pretty common.
No, I know. I'm saying I think it's definitely always like it's sports, but if you're a sports video game player, just for some off-season stuff, you gotta pick up one other thing. I pick up third-person adventure games is what I do after that. Like I like God of Wars.
Dude, I remember
things like that. Call of Duty, I couldn't even pretend to want to give a shit.
I remember, it's one of the hardest I think I've ever laughed in my life was at Stand Up New York when you were arguing about how terrible first-person shooter games are with Kurt Metzger. And Kurt goes, oh yeah, Jay? He goes, how do you live your life, Jay?
Yeah, like you live your life in third person.
How do you live your life? Hovering above yourself, watching yourself move?
Oh, I wish. But no, that is not how I live my life, Kurt Metzger. But
I'm with you on that. I don't like first person. I feel like I can never see. It's all weird. I never get it right. I like to look at, I
want to see my guy holding, I want to see, first of all, I'm trying to live vicariously through something else. I don't want to picture what the fuck I would do in Call of Duty. Drop me into Nam, I'm okay. I don't think I'm going to handle that very well. I want to see like a ninja going through Nam, or something like that. Or the God of War going through, the books of the, Odyssey.
You wouldn't do great at Nam, but you know the part where the soldiers are sitting around cracking pussy jokes?
Oh.
You would dominate that part of Nam. Be like, Jay is shit on the battlefield.
I'm off on the battlefield, but I'll tell you what, my vest and my helmet would have the coolest shit on it, though. I'd have like an ace of spade for every fucking, for every one of those gooks I killed.
The fucking Viet Cong can hear your wallet chain, bro. You gotta tuck that thing.
Oh yeah, I'd be good at all that shit. I'd fucking make my own t-shirts out of their yellow blood.
Blow you bastards right to hell.
There's something happening here. Hey, look, Jay's making necklaces. What it is ain't exactly...
Jay, shoot the enemy, damn it!
Is Jay fashioning a chain around his army boot?
Jay, we're losing men left and right! You can't keep accessorizing!
Look, even though I am a fan of the one sleeve off, one sleeve on army jacket...
Okay, I'll grant you that's fairly badass, but come on!
Oh, I'd look awesome as a soldier, but I just wouldn't, in the battlefield, useless. I tell you, when I was, again, when we get into like group fights as a kid, a lot of those group fights happened because of me, because we'd be running from a bigger group, and then I would slowly get further behind my group and the guys behind me.
I was just thinking, we can't keep running our whole lives, you know?
No. I'd start
you have
screaming.
To make a Braveheart speech?
I start screaming shit like, guys, they just want to talk to us. Come back.
Oh.
And then they'll have to come back, and then.
Better than just getting stomped out.
God forbid, but here's what happened several times in those. I wasn't the one who ended up fighting. I called the group back, and another one of the guys in our group ended up fighting, and I was like,
a lot of times it would break into a one-on-one.
That made me feel bad.
Wouldn't that be weird? Even when it was like a group on group, you'd still almost like agree to like, alright, Steve's gonna fight Eric.
Even two other guys would end up pushing a little, but generally never got into it too much. If you know who the toughest kids were generally? Or who read as the toughest kids? I wish I would have figured this out a lot younger. Everyone's so afraid to fight, really. Except maybe those 3 kids that really got their shit kicked by their dad. Most kids really didn't want to ultimately fight. So if you barked the loudest in high school, that generally did win.
It wins a lot.
Loud barking. That's the thing. I didn't bark. I fought a lot, but I didn't bark loud at all. I would kind of like eat shit until I was like, I think I have to fight.
You know, it's weird because you know when you have that in someone where they're just like, someone's just like intimidating everyone because it's just the one guy who's just like you said, he's that exception in that rule. Like he's the guy who just wants to fight, and like everyone else is like, fuck.
Oh,
I have to fight this guy.
A big thick dude with a black eye. You're like, fuck, you don't give a shit. That black guy's not even shaking him. He's like, black the other one up. I don't give a shit. My dad kicks my ass every night. Like, oh God, his dad's huge.
Punch my other eye. It's the only way I feel. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Where's my 2 front teeth? I swallowed them. I swallowed my 2 front teeth. Go way back. We were talking about cable and that, the possibility of you're thinking about moving soon. and you're thinking about possibly not getting cable when you move.
Well, I just moved into this place and I didn't have a cable for the first time ever. Did the whole Roku box thing. But it's amazing how much you can get on there now. You get like everything you want. I get basically every channel that I want, I have. For like a third of the price of cable. So
Jacob.
I'm like, why am I doing this?
Cable?
I have it, but I'm going to dump it. It's so expensive and I don't,
You're getting rid of it? What are you going to go to?
Just gonna keep the internet. Yeah, just, cause I got a smart
What if your
TV.
internet goes out?
I don't know.
What if the internet goes out?
Read a book.
What if the internet goes out on a big country western movie or NASCAR day?
Fuck. That's the only reason I'm keeping it till the season's over.
I like that response. Fuck.
It's like, the only thing I could think of that worst case scenario internet goes out would be like a big game or something like that. Like I was having people over for the fight. That would be like really bad, I guess. But what are the odds? That doesn't really happen that much. You know, your internet just goes out.
It happens though. The worst when it happens is when I take my computer into the bathroom, dropping heat, and then realize as soon as you get in, you already start going.
Oh, and you're just alone with your thoughts and your shit.
My thoughts, my shit, and my computer. A useless computer at this point.
He's playing solitaire like an asshole.
I'm doing Minesweeper. I bring a Commodore 64 in the bathroom. I bring an old Gateway computer with me. Lou, cable?
Yeah, old school.
Old school.
Yeah, Netflix sucks.
I don't even think Lou's got a laptop.
Dude, I'm old school. Knob TV.
Yeah.
Does anyone, I don't know if it was a thing, I think it was just in Philly, but Prism, I talked to you about this in the car, you don't remember it all, but Prism was like a movie channel, but they'd give you like an antenna. It might have been just Philly. I'm sure this is not our call screen, but if anybody out there remembers Prism, give a ring to 844-COMEDY-9. 844-266-3399. Prism was our movie. It had like it'd have some nudity. Oh, you got it? Mm-hmm. Prism. Philadelphia Regional In-Home Sports and Movies. Oh, that's right. Also, it had like, I think that carried some of the Sixers games. And then it became Channel 57, which ultimately became the UPN. Remember the UPN?
Yeah, of course. I remember UPN. Yeah, Channel 9, bro.
And now it all became My Networks, right? My 9 and all that shit. No one knows in this room because no one watches network TV at all anymore.
What, you guys aren't trying to see Jamie Foxx show reruns?
I'll tell you what, when those channels first came out when we were kids, the UHF channels were a big deal. They always had better shit. Right? Which became like My Networks or WB.
Oh, dude, that was like, it took UPM. The game from being like 3 channels to 5. 6, yeah. Like that was a big deal.
It was Fox, UPN, and CW or WB, whatever those things all were, and then they all kept going. But like those channels now, like NBC, ABC, CBS are still relevant, at least in some degrees of putting out like, sitcoms and nighttime drama. But those channels have become like those are all, like the My Network and shit.
That's just, like no one will
like
ever...
Steve Wilkos reruns and shit. Like Jerry Springer. I bet Springer and whatchamacallit, Maury Povich keep those channels completely alive. Like those kind of shows.
Yeah, they still have some hold on like, all of like white trash America that doesn't work.
And middle-aged black women. And fat white America.
I consider those black women part of white trash America, okay? Sort of That's how progressive I am.
That's fair enough, Dave.
That was Martin Luther King's dream, really.
He only had one. Funny you should bring up, that good racism talk here. Black Lou.
I brought up the most least racist thing you could bring up, Martin Luther King.
Black Lou pulled out a story here that I absolutely love. Where'd you read this, Lou? Where did this come into your life?
Just scrolling on the New York Post, that's all.
Oh, this is New York Post news.
Yes.
A formerly vicious South Florida white supremacist. You know what? That's redundant. South Florida white supremacist. I mean, they all are down there.
Oh, I really thought you were going to say vicious white supremacist was redundant, but you were just saying South Florida white supremacist.
Dude, when I was in Florida on Mayhem Fest, that was the big metal tour that I was doing one year. I was talking to a girl backstage who this is our opening conversation. I was like, "Hey, can I have a cigarette?" And she goes, "Yeah." And she pulled out like Marlboro menthols or something. And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to hit on you. You fuck black guys, huh?" Jokingly. And she goes, "I would never fuck a nigger." Like that like not joking or anything. And I went, okay. I didn't know what that's just like. I walked away from her. I was like, all right. I'm like, it was so slapped in the face with like real, like, honestly, if I even felt a tinge of humor in what she was doing there, I'd have been like, whoa, all right, lady. You know, I mean,
I'm so comfortable with a racist joke, but real racism does make me uncomfortable. You're like, hey, what do we do? We're doing that? Come on. Yeah.
She didn't even do like a look left and right first. She just laid it out there like, and I hope they hear. It was such like a zoned in focus. Oh, it was so scary looking. Anyway, a formerly vicious South Florida white supremacist learned love trumps hate when an unexpected prison romance with a Jamaican woman helped bust through her vile racism. She told BBC Magazine, get it? BBC Magazine. Big black cock. No one else keyword searches big black cocks. Even two Black Lou? Damn you. It's American History X meets Orange is the New Black, which is a great quote. I'll
tell you, I learned a lot from that story.
Yeah, well, isn't it fucking...
I have several key takeaways.
What's that?
Number one, you gotta read the Post.
Yeah.
If you want to know what's going on. And number two...
If you want an afternoon boner.
Like, all you people who are counter-protesting neo-Nazis... That's not how you convert them.
Throw dykes at them.
Throw some fucking black dykes at them, and you might actually start loving Trump's hate.
You think maybe, well, I wonder who's like the aggressor in this thing, because like it sounds like it was that situation. Does it say in here, Lou, at all, before I run through this, that it was like a situation like American History X, like they were stuck together, like both having the fold sheets or something?
No, basically, the girl approached her and just tried to be friendly with her, and it kind of threw her off. And she taught her how to play a card game.
She's like, beat it, nigger. She's like, come on. I said, beat it, nigger.
I wasn't told you people were so friendly. I suppose we could share a beer.
Yeah. I just give a bunch of come on. And then she goes, all right.
I just cut back to, scissor me, you dirty nigger. Oh, God, yes.
He goes, do you think she has to learn how to not be racist moving forward now? She goes, this is my monkey. She says her the best. He goes, don't call me a monkey in front of your friends. Sorry. This is my friend.
Jay, did you see it is, she went to jail because she pistol-whipped a Jewish adult video shop clerk.
Well, who's never wanted to do that?
And she ended up falling for her cellmate.
Can I tell you, that seems unnecessary to throw the word Jewish in there.
A Jewish
like they could have just been like,
no, because she's a white supremacist, so she hates Jews. Like it is.
She like intentionally targeted her for Jew. I thought she was just pissed off.
Man, at adult video shop. She was.
No, she said she had like a.
They wouldn't take my return. I'm trying to return this stupid dildo. They won't take it back. There's a chip in it.
$5 rewind fee. I'll beat your Jew ass right here in your store.
I'll beat your Jew ass. How much? For one double-headed dildo. Oh, you driving the market up, motherfucker. You about to get it, big nose. That's fucking hilarious. So she beat up a Jewish thing, got sent to jail, and then ended up, her cellmate, a black woman, ended up, so she's saying now that she is anti-racism.
Basically, she's saying that everyone should be able to look past racism and open up their eyes and hearts.
So she went to jail.
Assholes and pussies.
She went to jail, and this black chick was like her South Central black Muslim guy. If you steal from a man.
Yeah. But if a woman puts a pussy over your nose, tomorrow you can thank her or perhaps become her girlfriend. If you kill a man. So now she says everyone should get... Really? Because of a fucking... Yeah. Because they hooked up? God bless her.
Oh, man. Jay, do not underestimate the power of black pussy.
Yeah, you know
It'll turn around your whole inner being, your whole core philosophy.
I'd go to Lou on that one, but he's married to a white woman. Did you try the dark meat first?
I've been with 23 girls, and only one was half black.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. All the rest were white. Irish white girls.
What happened? Did the half one steal some shit from your place?
Kinda.
Oh, there's some furious.
It'd be great if it really was something like half black. She goes, one of her cousins came popping shit, so I ain't got time for that shit.
There's nothing that pisses up, like, you used to have a bit about that, great bit about
black
that.
Woman.
Militant black chicks hate when black guys fuck white women. Like, I'm sure you've dealt with it.
They hate us.
Yeah, it's
grocery stores, malls, we get looks all day from them.
Really?
Oh my god.
It's like, Jesus, lady, this is what makes his dick hard. Yeah, like, let him live his life.
Yeah. This black pussy, it's got its uses. It turned a woman's life around in prison.
Go out there and save a life, lady. Stop being so bitter.
This is her speaking, but it's a 21-minute long video.
Yeah. Oh my Christ.
Hey,
that is one awful looking woman.
Hey, gross former neo-Nazi dyke. Can you concise this into a Facebook post?
I mean, no shit. How awful is she looking? He goes, who cares if you're, I was like, how dare she was a white supremacist before this? He goes, you look in the mirror and you see supremacy?
Wow.
She's like, we are master race. Oh boy. Oh, sorry, I burp a lot. Very gassish.
Us the pancake faces. We will take over.
She goes, I used to only be with my own kind. Human thumbs.
She goes, now I joined a hate group for obvious reasons.
Now I know what you're thinking. What is this fist with hair talking about? Now I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Equality. Equality. EQ.
Oh no.
Let me see.
Oh, this is like her beauty spread. Hold on, go up. This is like...
Oh, that's a glamour shot.
That's as dolled up as you can get this woman.
I mean, airbrush out her fucking Enrique moles, would you?
Was she a lesbian while she was a neo-Nazi? I don't think they're cool with that.
No, it was the first lesbian relationship either of them had been involved in.
Was she formerly a skin eyebrows? Because her eyebrows are super thin. Like, was she racist against Puerto Rican girls? Because she has the eyebrows of one. Holy, wait a second, go up. She's 23?
Mm-hmm.
Yuck! What happened to this chick?
No. She was 23 when she committed the crime.
Now she's 25. Oh! How do you have faded tattoos on your big saggy tits?
There's gotta be better Nazi tattoo artists.
Even in prison. Jesus Christ. This will all be up at the Bonfire SXM. You can see all the pictures, but this is a ghastly woman. Sorry out there if we have any lesbian listeners who find her attractive. At no point, At no point was she a good-looking person. Look at that. You know what's the irony is in one picture they gave her braces, like the teeth were the problem.
Her mom told her, she said, I knew I had to keep it to myself. My mother used to say to me, I will never stop loving you, except you better never bring home a black person or a woman. I bet she didn't say black person.
Why do you think that? You think she didn't say black person?
I just don't think that's a term she used for a black person.
Oh, I got you. I think you're saying she's like, her mother would never say so. I know her mom. Her mom's not like that.
It's never good parenting when you go, I'll always love you, except.
Yeah.
I'll always love you, except I've got a list of like 14 things.
Oh, you know what? She got a little cuter as a white supremacist. Maybe it's the jacket.
What I never get is like the Confederate flag thing. Like, why do all these neo-Nazis have Confederate like, what did the Confederacy and Nazis have to do with each other? It's just like, hey, you guys all hate shit. So,
yeah. It's
just putting together everything that's like, cause it's not even, it's like one was like a German movement, one was like a southern, like.
Also the German movement had zilch to do with black people, like at all.
Oh yeah, you couldn't even try to hate black people. Hitler, that was like 17th on Hitler's list. Hitler was like, look, if I ever get to exterminating the black people, we've already won. Trust me. I've already.
He goes, oh, that's more of like a mixtape.
Oh, that's like an EP. I can't
that's not like a studio release. A studio release is killing the Jews. I'm going after some of those Polacks. She got a degree in what?
Sociology and psychology.
Hilarious. Man, do something about those eyebrows. First of all, there is a bus ride between them. I mean, holy shit.
It's not that she needs to do something about it. It's like she's doing that. Like she's doing something to create these horrific.
And the one tattoo
tattoos
she's
are
trying
just,
to get
what
covered
the
up.
Fuck?
Her old racist tattoos are covered up with peaceful images of cats. Aww. This is a woman who should not have tattoos at all anyway. So fun. Now she's an app. Hey, you know what? Whatever turns you around, man. There's a documentary on, I think it's still on Netflix called Erasing Hate. Anybody ever see that? Where the guy was covered head to toe in racist tattoos. And the whole process is him, like, this documentary said they would pay for him, but he's getting them all removed. And it just sounds like, man, you gotta want to have those removed, because that is a painful process. They essentially laser burn off tattoos, is what the process is.
And does it actually look like, is it gone afterward? Does it look good?
No. It does not look good.
What does it look like? What does a removed tattoo look like? Like, can you see that there was a tattoo there?
Yeah. Yeah, you sort of can.
Because that's like,
rid of it.
To go through all that and then it's still kind of there is what's crazy.
I guess technically it's easier to get kittens tattooed over all of your tattoos you don't like.
Okay, I see. So you can't really make out what the tattoo is, but it's not, like, you can definitely see that something's fucked up about the skin.
Sure. And almost
and
sometimes
it scars up.
Yeah, and sort of still in the design of the tattoo. You know
it's
what
like,
I mean?
Do you have a scar of a swastika?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what, that almost looks like God chose you to be a Nazi.
That is a great removal. But why would you remove your stupid dragon tattoo at that point? Why remove it? What are you doing with your shirt off?
I mean, it was a bad tattoo.
Yeah, but I've got a bunch of bad tattoos.
Well,
almost like they're it's almost like part of my character at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
your character. Let me give you your character description. A guy who got shitty tattoos when he was young.
I am a guy who would get shitty tattoos. Dan's got some tattoos. Christine's got 2. Jacob, none. Lou, none. Not even a Pearl Jam, huh? Would you?
No.
Really?
My skin can't handle a tattoo.
What does that mean?
Up to, I don't heal well.
Do you have AIDS?
I'm just unusually pale. Stop looking at me.
Is this your way of telling us that you're sick?
I'm not healthy.
I don't heal well? Is it because you're pickled by booze, and if you bleed, you just never stop bleeding?
I don't know, doctor.
Black Lou, no tattoos?
Yeah, I have 3 tattoos.
What are they?
I have a quote from my favorite song from Sweet Disposition. I have New Jersey.
Who sings Sweet Disposition? That's the name of the band?
Yeah, it's Temper Trap.
Okay.
It's me and my wife's song. But anyway, I got New Jersey on my back, really big, like this big.
Really?
Yeah.
Dirty Jers?
Yeah, Dirty Jers.
Love it.
And then I got the best one, which you'll love.
What's that? Oh, the Cowboy Star. I've been talked out of the Eagles bird so many times.
Get it. Why not get it? You already have it on all the time anyway.
I wear the jersey a lot, that's true, but I could take that off. I don't think Christine would get behind an Eagles tattoo.
No, remember I found that one that I actually saved because I said it was a really cool Eagles tattoo.
What is it? Why are you pointing to my lower back? Was it a tramp stamp you wanted me to get?
Oh, no, I was just pressing on my lower back.
Oh, I was gonna I tell you about that one. Remember the one where it's like the Eagles? It's like they put the helmet wings on your dickhead.
Tramp stamp? That really, like, there was like a few years before that was called a tramp stamp when girls were just getting it on their back left and right, and then it's like, yeah, you committed.
Oh, all you gotta do is call it something shitty, and everybody's like, maybe it's a dumb idea. The tramp stamp. Cool thing is, I immediately started being called like a jizz target and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tramp stamp isn't
I've seen some that are alright, but if you fuck that up, it's like, god damn it. That's the thing.
My mom's got one.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
You just however you want to respond
weird
to
piece of information. That's why I do remember that you told me that once.
Yeah, it's a swastika. So she used to be racist, so she got her box eaten in prison by a black chick.
That's so weird that your mom has a tramp stamp.
Oh, you know what it is? It's 4 hearts for her 4 babies.
Oh my god.
My stepfather's jism has ran through the sweet artwork of
like,
4
why would you put them
things.
above your ass?
Because she wants Joe to jizz on them.
I mean, that is what made 3 of those 4 babies.
He's like, oh god, yeah, that's right. We have 4 kids. I'm gonna come so hard. Just reminding him constantly.
I had a friend that got her own name as a tramp stamp. It was her first tattoo, and just said Jessica huge across her lower back.
So weird.
There's my Eagles tattoo, everybody.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Oh, yeah.
That is a cool Eagles tattoo as far as Eagles tattoos go.
My entire back. I'm doing it.
And then underneath it, you should write Super Bowl champions never.
Yeah. I'm getting it on my ribs. It's the worst, a fat guy getting a rib tattoo. Oh shit. Oh wow, look at the time's flying. We're gonna take our first break. We're hanging out with Dave Smith in studio today.
Yeah.
And, Dave Smith, 1 hour special, Libertas, comes out September 11th across all platforms, streaming, so make sure you check that out. And, me? I'll be doing comedy next weekend in Minneapolis, the House of Comedy. September 7th through Saturday, September 9th. And Dan, you know this weekend's going to be doing the Accidental Comedy Festival, September 1st and 2nd. Make sure you get your tickets at accidentalcomedy.com and check out Dan's half-hour special as part of the stand-ups on Netflix. We'll be right back. It's the Bonfire.
And now, back to the Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Wherever you at, Danny S. I know you're watching it. I know you're watching over us.
Oh yeah.
I know you're watching over us from the table read for billions. You in that table read in the sky, son. You and Paul Giamatti. In the sky, son. It is the Bonfire, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95. Big J. Oakerson, hanging out here with Davey Smith.
Yeah.
Libertas coming out September 11th. Make sure you check that out. Dude, I wanted to show you this video. So, first of all, I'm coming back from break. Jacob to add insult to injury to the shitty land of South Florida, for being racist garbage, is that he said he saw, what was this now? You said you saw the back of a truck.
It was a pickup truck.
Obviously.
Me and my brother were driving on the main highway. It was a 4-lane highway. Florida Turnpike going down south, and...
You're really painting the picture. I like that.
Yeah, and then...
It was dusk. It was just around dusk, I believe.
A pickup truck passes in front of us, and the guy had written like a cardboard manifesto. This was right after the election.
Uh-huh.
And the title of it was Attention Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
And then listed 5 bullet points of... the way things were going to be now.
Can you give me a rundown?
He doesn't remember any of them, you said?
I tried to catch it with my phone, but it was,
You couldn't remember any of them, though.
Nothing was kind.
That's gotta be... That's balls to the wall. I mean, you're asking for a fight in traffic almost every day.
Well, or he's just trying to communicate a message.
It'd be funny, though. It'd be funny if he was did you see he was not a black guy, like almost making an ironic list? Like, attention,
my fellow Negroes.
We gotta get the fuck out of here, basically.
We're in trouble.
White people in the truck.
They were very white. Did they have,
I don't even get, that's ridiculous, because Trump never even said he was gonna crack down on black people. It's Mexicans we're going after. Everyone knows that. You guys are fine. Mexicans and Muslims, and then, yes, we'll come back to hating you guys.
I'll vote for the president ready to crack down on black guys. Like the concept of cracking down on black people.
Yeah, we can't deport black people anywhere.
It's time to crack down on them. Isn't that what we did in the 80s? We cracked down on them. We gave them crack and just let them figure it out themselves. No?
It was all because of this terrible, awful Negro.
Too real, y'all?
Sorry. The crack thing is actually, that's fairly historically accurate.
Yeah, Ricky Ross, yo.
Yeah.
I like when those guys, I like when they have those drug dealer guys, though, that were dealing with, like, the CIA and stuff at the time, and the DA. It's so funny. It's like, you're meeting with a guy with, like, diamond teeth and, like, a do-rag, meeting with, like, a CIA operative. Like, he's got, like, the thing in his ear directly to the president and shit.
He's like, you're gonna mix this with baking powder? All right. Whatever, Negro.
Just give me that shit, George.
All right. George, just give it to him.
George, give it to him.
George just, I don't know.
Goofy ass suit wearing motherfucker. Let's go. It really is like the thuggiest, like, thug dudes dealing. Those documentaries always goes, I remember I was in Air Force One, picking lobster out my teeth when the president comes through. I'm like, what's up, motherfucker? They never gave a shit.
It is pretty that is like surreal, almost like out of a movie though, that you've got Reagan.
Oh yeah.
No, it's all legit. It's all
the government
legit.
Puts drugs.
Well, it was like
ghetto.
we were fighting, so we were fighting with the conquistas in Nicaragua. They were trying to overthrow the communists, and we wanted to fund them, and they were drug dealers, so they like kind of facilitated them like selling a whole bunch of drugs. It's a whole crazy story. You can look into it, but like, while Nancy Reagan is out there like, just say no, and Ronald Reagan's like, we gotta lock everyone with the, crack up in a cage, they're fucking shipping, cocaine into LA. It's goddamn insane.
It's like LA.
Yeah, right in there. And then Rick Ross, I mean, like, you could argue...
Christine did half of it. No, or at least people she knew.
But then Rick Ross is really kind of like, I mean, you could say he's fucked up or morally whatever, but he was like the Steve Jobs of crack. Like, he like invented crack houses and like set up. This dude made like, he was bringing in like millions a day. Like Rick Ross set up, his vision was that he set up crack houses, like he basically did what McDonald's did, which was they took the assembly line model from Ford and then used it in food, and then he was like, oh, we'll just run crack houses like McDonald's. So he had like a guy on the fucking
all the workers for some reason were black girls with short hair and big banana titties that had to have their shirts off. It's always fat areola, big banana titty black chicks like scooping powder into bags and shit.
Like McDonald's.
Oh yeah. Yes, very similar.
I'm telling you, it's the McDonald's business model.
I would love to run a McDonald's like a crack house with just all naked black women with big banana titties doing the work.
Is it really that far off from that?
Hold the pickles, Vera. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, man. Got these titties out, man. I'm getting titty sweat up in these burgers.
Dude, he had drive-thrus. He would have drive-thrus for the crack houses. They'd come drive through and pick it up in the window and shit. He took like their model.
That's great.
He was a genius.
Did you see the movie The Founder?
No, I didn't. I
watched it.
That's the history of fast food, right?
No, it's history of McDonald's, but it's it's that thing you're saying about McDonald's, like that's actually a big part of what McDonald's was.
They took it from Henry Ford, I think, right? It was like Ford invented like the assembly line, and then they took that.
It's a choreographed, but it wasn't even assembly, it was a choreographed kind of dance. Like, you bring the burger,
well, that's what I mean.
You bring all the buns to here, and then there's one person who's just like nailing them all on the bread, and then
that's what I mean. I think that's the assembly line thing that like each one does a one thing, and you're doing one thing. It's like I'm just pickling the sandwiches, but because I'm just doing that, I'm like ba 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 ba, and you produce a lot more. Like,
and also it's like consistently, everything gets 2 pickles or whatever. Yeah.
And there is a crazy thing about McDonald's that I guess leaving the country is different, but however you feel about it, it's a crazy thing that you could be like, and I know you know this because you travel all over the country and shit, and you can be in Houston, in Seattle, in Florida, and like wherever, and like you can get a McDonald's and it's pretty much the same fucking thing. Like you get in there and it kind of tastes the same. It's the same. Like I'm not saying there's
overseas
no differences.
Is different.
Overseas is different.
Yeah.
Overseas is different.
Yeah.
But like in America,
here's the only thing that's regionally I find different about it. Well, first of all, McDonald's regionally will actually have their different products. Like, none of them won't have like the main stuff, but there's extra stuff in different places you go. Like, I remember when I lived in Ohio at one point, there was the MDP, was the Michael Dean Perry, was one of their football players from the Browns. It was the sandwich called an MDP, and it was like but
Cleveland loves their sports so much.
It was a triple cheeseburger, was what an MDP was, basically. But they just called it something else there. But, the Shamrock Shake, I think some people have it everywhere, always. Some people never have it. Some people have it just a seasonally thing. But
the Arch Deluxe.
But what is regional with McDonald's is mustard.
Yes.
Some of them put mustard on.
If you go up north, that mustard is popular.
I want to know who was against the idea and who got rid of the idea of tiny chopped up onions. That doesn't seem to be their thing anymore. Now it's like big onion hunks, like someone who doesn't love you is making it. And I always picture someone in the back loves me.
Yeah.
Who's that, Jay, out there? Tell him this one's got a little bit of love on it. And I'll be, thank you, naked black woman with your big fat areolas and titties hanging out.
And then Jay goes, da-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. That's the way it works in my head.
Dude, I had a video I want to show you so much, Dave, because I know, me and you, it's no secret, we are no fan of the police, especially throwing their power around. Black Lou, police problems in your life ever?
Honestly?
Yeah.
No.
Not a one?
Nah.
God bless. God bless. I'm telling you, almost as much as just race, it's got to do, I think race maybe first for the aggression of a cop, and then second is the actual demeanor and look of the person you're dealing with.
I
do think it's a lot because exactly. I think I would have a bigger problem with the cops just sight unseen. than Black Lou, because Black Lou wears like, a button-down shirt, like he's wearing khaki shirt. Whereas the way I look, I think they're just like, oh, this guy's probably a piece.
And I gotta say that I have very little sympathy for. Like, if you're racially profiled, it's one thing, but if you're profiled because you decide to dress in a way that looks like it could be menacing, I mean, it's like, dude, it's like if a cop is like following a group of black dudes in suit and ties who just came out of a church, then I'd be like, yes, that's racial profiling.
Sure.
If a cop is following a black dude in like a hoodie with a grill and a teardrop tattoo, like, it's like, okay, that's not exactly racially profiling. There's a little bit more to it than that.
You come over my house enough to know, we watch Cops. I say it on the show so much, how much I watch Cops. But I said this to Christine the other day when we were watching an episode. I'm like, what's crazy to me? Like, these guys always seem so baffled when the cops pull them over and then they make everybody get out of the car. And then really, like, for a second, you're like, why would he make everybody get out of the car? Why? And it's like, because when the guys come out of the back, it's like their hands are tattooed completely. They've got, like, a swastika on his, like, where the teardrop tattoo is.
Yeah.
He's got, like, a bandana on his head and just, like, it just looks like scruffy and, like, they're kind of bloody and, like, cut and stuff on their face. And just, like, he's like, everybody get out of the car, we're gonna run it. And it's like, why would you just, like, I don't know, dude, like, how you have to know how this looks. You know what I mean? Like, you're not all construction workers coming home, what I mean?
It's like,
and they always find like guns. There's always like meth and crack.
Look, and I don't think I don't think the cops should ever abuse their power. Of course,
sure.
Like no one thinks they should do that. But it's like I just feel like the thing, like I don't give a fuck if you want to be intimidating and do that thing and that's your thing. I guess you have a right to do what you want to do. But it's like if you're like if there was a white dude who like shaves his head and tattoos a swastika on the side, and I'm a Jew and I see 5 of them coming and I cross the street, it's like whatever. But when I cross the street, don't be like, oh, you're gonna be prejudiced against me because I have a, it's like, okay, well,
that great
you've
Patrice
made
joke?
your thing. Oh, Patrice, yeah, that was incredible.
That great Patrice
joke. Live, be racist and live.
Be racist. Coming your way and they say don't like cross the street. He goes, that's racist. He goes, so what, man? Be racist. He goes, if I'm at a bus stop and I see a bunch of white dudes come with shaved heads, I'm not going to be like, oh, maybe they have cancer and they're coming. He goes, I'm just going to run, mother. I'm going to be like skinheads.
I wouldn't want to be perceived as racist.
Yeah, he goes, skinheads, motherfucker. Just run home.
You wouldn't rather be racist and live? Patrice, when he would ask you a question.
His suggestion is be racist and live. That's a great thing. But I
do think a lot of shit, I think like, and I'm not saying there's not a racial element a lot with cops, I'm sure there is, right? And I'm sure the fact that like I'm sure all of that stuff plays a role at time. But I think like 90% of it is that human beings do not do well with power. You give human beings authority. You look like the Stanford prison experiments or other shit like that. Like human beings, you give them power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And when a cop just has a thing where it's like you can just go around and bully people and harass them and with impunity, like nothing's gonna happen. It brings out the worst in people, and like that's because you've had it a million times. I've had cops treat me like a piece of shit a million times. Like
I just watched a movie on Netflix the other night called Death Note. That's essentially about that. It's like if you had the power to like kill anybody, like at first you can see they start doing it where it's like on the news a guy's holding someone hostage and they like make that guy like kill himself, they do a thing that makes that guy die. But then when people are like, well, you can't just kill, whoever you want at any time you want, and they start to look for the person who's doing it, who thought he was doing something noble, like how quick before you start going like, well, I gotta kill this cop who's coming after me too. Like, I don't want to get caught and go to jail. You know what I mean? Like, you have that power. You don't just go, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you still were like, well, that's not really as I was trying to use it for good, but now I gotta, kill this cop because he's gonna find me. Yeah,
human beings weren't made to be noble rulers.
No, right? What did they say was the best leader ever would be a benevolent dictator, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like, we also don't work well as a group.
Yeah.
But we also, like, the people who become, like, dictators are always like, let's just start killing people, man. I'm bored as shit. Always. But this here is, and cops are about the closest thing we have in this, on a day-to-day basis you deal with, who sort of feel like they have absolute power.
Yeah.
And you have a great joke. And I don't want to do it disjustice here, but the concept of like, and I do believe it's in the special.
It is indeed.
The concept of what it's like when the idea of like, the cops work for us. Everyone always says that. Like, we pay our taxes. I pay your salary, they say. He goes, go tell a cop you're his boss. He goes, see how nice he takes that.
Yeah. Well, I say in the thing where I go like, you're like, I pay your salary. And I go, yeah, cause you have to. Like, you have to. Or they throw you in jail. Like, you think that guy works for you? I go, if someone takes your money after they threaten you, they don't work for you. I said it'd be like if someone mugged you and you were like, all right, I guess that guy works for me now. I mean, I'm paying his salary. I
just gave him money.
So, you know, this retarded logic that you've cultivated. Yeah, guys, September 11th, Libertas.
Libertas.
An hour full of that type of brilliant humor.
It's so great, dude. So timely and so fucking great. Yeah, play this. So this is a video I saw. This is on World Star, my favorite news source. There's a drunk guy being an idiot.
Mainstream media.
Hammered in public, this guy. And a cop comes up to him and starts trying to arrest him. This guy's being a complete jack-off, and I'm all for him getting arrested. But what these cops are willing to do, like physically, and again, because you've been in my house, and this is when we do watch Cops in my house so much, we say that, and I'm surprised Cop shows it so much, man.
It's amazing. Cops always will show.
They show it.
They're just like, it's like, they'll be like the saddest, most rural, poor, like, just fucking, oh my god, I can't believe someone lives their life this way. And then you just see a cop, like, harassing this guy, like, threatening him, then he runs, then they tackle him, then they, like, beat the crap out of him, then they, like, throw him in the thing, and then they're like, yeah, we got a little nickel-sized powder of white stuff. Yeah. Another good day, boys. And, like, you just, like, sit there watching it, you're like, how is this, how are they the good ones here?
But,
like,
Christine, do you remember the other day we watched that one? I told you they had a black guy, I mean, first of all, the dog was biting him, and they're yelling at him to stop hurting the dog, like to stop trying to push the dog off. They pull the dog off him finally, and a cop helps the guy up, right? The guy, he's bleeding from the dog, he's out of it. They help the cop up, and then the other cop comes over and just billy clubs him in the gut to get him on the ground. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, holy shit! Like,
are you guys working like a tag team finishing maneuver?
Yeah, it's the fucking Road Warriors all of a sudden. You guys want it! You guys want him to go down!
I think usually the ref gives you a 5-second count where you're allowed to work as a team.
1, 2, kick up. Who did Hogan say that about? Who did Hogan tweet about? Time to kick up, brother. Ric Flair. It's time to kick out, brother. Time to kick
Wait, what was that in reference to?
Ric Flair was in a coma. And he tweeted, time to kick out, brother.
Brother, I just heard a 2 count.
And he goes, Ric Flair's in a coma. Let's hold his arm up. 1, 2. He goes, Ric Flair's coming alive. So, this shithead is drinking in public. He's fucking hammered. The cop comes to arrest him. I'll kind of play-by-play this as we play the video. Dave, you have not seen this yet?
No.
Christine, go ahead. Oh, I forgot we're doing signals now. Now the cops put his arms behind his guy's back. The guy is out on his fucking...
I mean, this guy is in the middle of a blackout.
And he's not going to fight this arrest. Even if he thinks he's going to, he's not going to.
They're coming through the bar.
What's up?
Ooh!
Audio's not coming up.
Wow!
No audio's coming through? Audio's not coming through in the feed?
Wow.
Well, what happened was the guy is,
Now, look, I'll say, if I would describe the level of what they'd call, quote, resisting arrest as like, you know, the guy's holding his arms behind his back and he goes, give me that arm back. And for that, he slams him face first down on a fucking brick floor. I mean,
bounces his head.
Bounces his head off.
He's unconscious.
And then as he's unconscious, just starts putting his hands behind his back and cuffing him. Like,
but I think it's the embarrassment of like, he's just kind of like, he's like, and he doesn't go, and again, where's this guy's like, shit, that was wrong of me? Like, where's your humanity?
Yeah, exactly.
Why does he hate this guy? You'd have to hate somebody to do what you just did to that guy. Why do you hate that guy?
I've hated people who I would never do that to before. You know what I'm saying? Like, genuinely hated someone who I wouldn't do that to.
You wouldn't want to see him like, get smashed. I mean, that guy you could have killed him.
You absolutely could kill him, absolutely could give him permanent damage. And I know what drives me so crazy is that I know so many people who just have this kind of attitude of like, well, That's why you don't get drunk in the middle of the street. And it's like, yeah, dude, you know what? We can walk and chew gum. Yes, you're not supposed to get drunk in the street. Also, if we live in a fucking civilization here and we're not like animals, then no, you don't slam someone face first into the ground for
because
that.
they drank in the street.
It's like literally like, okay, well, what if we gave the death penalty for shoplifting? Would your response be, oh, that's why you don't shoplift? Or would it like maybe be like, maybe this is a little excessive?
Yeah, punishment fits the crime,
yeah,
bro.
Like,
I don't know what that guy was doing. Deserved to get. I mean, like if they don't send him to the hospital, that guy should go to the hospital. I mean, that would be insane.
Oh no, there's no way that guy's not going to the hospital.
But this guy, I mean, like, and I don't know if there's any follow up on like if this guy's in any kind of like ultimate trouble for this or anything.
No, because I'll tell you the way the laws are written, it's so like I'll have one time. This happened to me one time where I was just, I think I may have told you this before, but you remember the old CB's comedy club? How you would kind of like, you would come upstairs and then there were the areas where you could sit outside, right? At the old CB's. So you'd come out the stairs, the comedy club was downstairs, and I'm walking out the stairs and I had a beer in my hand and I was walking to the tables. And this cop came over to me and he goes, or two cops, and he goes, and I didn't even notice him there, and I noticed him because he took his nightstick and just poked me in the ribs. Now, not aggressively, didn't hit me, just like to get my attention. Sure. Like, poked me in the ribs, and I kind of jumped like, what the and then I see it's cops, and he goes, ID. And I go, I was like, oh, well, I'm in the seated area, like, I'm allowed to be drinking here, and he goes, okay. And then, like, keeps walking, and just left. And you're just kind of like, oh, okay, now that's, they can do that, whatever you want. But if a cop grabs your wrist and you pull that wrist back, oh, you have assaulted an officer. You have resisted arrest. So as soon as this guy pulls his arm back, this dude is legally protected to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, because it's like, they're the ruler, you're the slave, like, the rules are all in their favor. If they could do the same thing to you and no one cares. Like, what's happening here is this guy's assaulting him, really. But he doesn't,
So there's a cops I watched the other day where a guy falls asleep. He's sleeping in his truck he fell asleep in his truck with the music on really loud. They open his truck door. He's passed out. He's holding a gun on his lap. So the cops like do this whole thing. They get the gun away, and when they get the gun away, very aggressively rip this guy out of his truck and smash him down like gravel floor. A big black dude. And they have their knee on his face, and they arrest him, do all this stuff. They go through all this, and cops shows this. They end up letting him go because he has a permit to carry. He's got to go. And what I feel really bad about is like, this guy's face is all fucked up. I mean, he's got blood. His face is bleeding. He's got a cut under his eye and like that scratch. When a black guy gets scratched and it's like all pink up here. That's what he's got going on. It looks like his palms on his forehead. He's got that whole thing going on. And as the cops are leaving, he's kind of like, isn't this great? He goes, I got a license to carry. Everybody go home. No one goes to jail. Everything's so great. And like the guy's like, he's like, thank you, officer. He's like thanking them. He's thanking. Russ Meade used to have a great joke about that. He goes, how much of a pussy you have? Like an officer gives you a ticket and you're like, I'm happy I'm just getting a ticket and getting him to leave. You're like, thank you. You thank him for the ticket and you're like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with me?
The joke you used to tell me, it was some black comic. God damn it, that made me laugh so hard. I never heard him do it. I heard you tell me do it, but he said the thing where he's like overly respectful to the judge.
Tony Roberts.
Oh, that's Tony Roberts?
Yeah,
dude,
that's such a
Tony
great
Roberts
joke.
Is so fucking funny. I never heard him do that joke, but you told me.
I love it. He goes,
he's like over respect. Like, he goes,
yes, your highness. He's like, it's your honor. He goes, it is my honor, your majesty.
Just so go over the top. Yes, your highness. It's your honor. It is my honor, your majesty.
It is my honor, your majesty. That's such a fucking great
Tony
joke.
Roberts is funny. Goddamn. But it is true. I'll tell you, like, every experience I have with it is like, you realize, what you realize is like,
you laugh at their jokes if
but
they're just leaving you alone.
You know the whole thing they used to tell you about, like, what the slave, they'd say, like, the slave mentality where it would always be kind of like, oh, yes, sir. And then they leave and they're like, motherfucker, right? Cause that's what you turn into. Yeah. As soon as there's, like, men with guns who are fucking ruling over you, you're like, oh, yeah? Oh, okay. If there's anything I can do, anything. And as soon as they're gone, you're like, I fucking hope you die. You're like, that's what it is.
Oh, nobody's smarter than you, sir. Yep. Nobody's smarter than you. You're the handsomest, smartest person in the world.
You turn right into that. What else are you gonna do? You're trying to survive.
But isn't that, the absolute power corrupts absolutely. To go back to that whole thing, that's like even like with those egos, like, I think Putin does that as well. Didn't they say, I think both, the Kim Jong-un and Il both had that thing where it's like, isn't there like, in the record books of like Korea, like North Korea and Russia, it's like Putin, doesn't he like hold the record for like, he held his breath for 25 minutes. It's like they make him like a superhero.
They have a lot of, Vladimir Putin.
It's like weird fake things like Vladimir Putin killed a bear with his bare hands.
Vladimir Putin will go out and he'll play, with the professional hockey players in Russia who are like the best hockey players in the world. So he'll go play with them and score like 7 goals in a game. And I always joke about like how terrified those guys are to block a shot. It's like how terrified that goalie is to accidentally block it, and it's like, well, you're going to Siberia.
Yeah, I'm happy we live here in America
God.
With the bonfire. Let's take our second break, and we'll come back. We have some fun guests coming in here, hanging out with Davey Smith. It's the bonfire.
And now, back to the bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Oh, classic Milli Vanilli right there. It's the bonfire. We're missing Dan Soder over here while he's off doing billion stuff, but that's okay. You don't have to miss him because you have me, Big J. Oakerson, hanging out with Dave Smith.
Hey.
Hey. 2 fun guests just joining us now in the studio. They have a show called The Social Hour, premiering at Caroline's on Broadway. It is Josh Accardo, hilarious comedian, and Suicide, pinup girl, Lux Suicide. That's going to be happening Wednesday, September 6th at 8 p.m. You can get tickets at carolines.com. If you use code SELFIE, you'll get $10 tickets. What's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much for letting me on.
That's so crazy that your last name is Suicide. And you're a Suicide girl.
It's almost like you were born for this.
Right, it was weird in school.
Josh, can you describe the show to us, The Social Hour?
Yeah, so it's kind of a spin-off of my podcast. Originally, I wanted to do a podcast because I was terrible at networking, and I tried to get famous comedians on, but they didn't know me, so they refused to come on. So I ended up doing this show where I thought, hey, there's a lot of Instagram models that became like a thing around that time I started, and I thought, well, let's have them on and see what they could talk about. Maybe they'll be awful, maybe they'll be great, maybe they'll change perspective on people, and sometimes maybe they'll just be awful, and that'll be even better too. So I just started like talking to a bunch of models, and then as the show kind of started to form, I thought, what a great idea to do stand-up up front. So like Mike Vecchione, Mad Dog Mattern, a lot of great comics are going to be on up front, and I'll close it off, and I'm going to bring Lux up, and we're going to do a little segment where she goes over her creepiest DMs, like different dick pics and weird stuff that people say.
I was drunk.
It's still assault, even when you're drunk, my friend.
Let me see Dave's dick pic. Is it the same one he sent me? He sent that one a lot.
It's in rotation.
Don't feel so
heavy
special.
Rotation dick pic.
Don't feel so special, sweetheart.
Never, ladies, if you're listening, never believe a dick pic was taken for you, okay? We get one good one, we keep that one forever. It takes a lot to get the perfect dick pic.
It's like a headshot.
Oh, no, I can find a headshot easily. You give me 6 options, I'll pick one. A dick pic, it's like, if it's like 99% hard, I'm like, absolutely not. That will not represent me.
I think my daughter told me, now you want to find out if someone took a picture just for you.
I don't know.
iPhone, I think it's a thing that, I think there's
it's like time stamped.
It's like a white circle in the top.
Oh, like the live? It's like
yeah. It's like a short.
Wait, hold on, I don't understand.
So if you have iPhone and you have
right, I see those circles. What does that mean?
So
if you hold the picture, it actually moves.
It'll show you the brief second it was taken right before.
Yeah.
So you'll see the phone move, you'll see people, whatever is in you'll see it move.
For like 1 second.
So you'll know.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
Ruining everybody's game.
Oh, technology. I'm just an old man. What do I know? Josh, you're a married man, yeah?
I just got married in October.
No wonder you want to have Instagram models constantly on your show. That's got to be nice.
I have less and less since I've gotten married because I've gotten in so much trouble.
Have you gotten in trouble?
I used to be a dirtbag. I still am a dirtbag at heart, but I used to be a huge dirtbag. Like,
did you ever hook up with any of these Instagram models?
You know, funny enough, I've only hooked up with people that haven't been on the show.
But Instagram models?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What's your game like, dude?
I could charm the panties
off you. You're not a bad-looking fella at all.
Well,
I'm just saying, like, Instagram. I mean, I've seen Instagram. We have a whole show coming out next week, and we did one already about this Sierra Sky. You know who she is?
No, I don't.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal hot. Literally the dumbest person in the universe.
It's my type of chick.
Oh, dude. She is next class stupid. And the only thing that's stupider is her ridiculously beautiful boyfriend.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
What are you talking about? She seems really smart.
Wow.
Really? You're going to call
How's that
she's
even
stupid?
Possible? Is that like a Photoshop, or is her ass Photoshopped? It has to be, right?
No, I mean, no.
Is that
no
filter?
No nudity. Instagram model seems it's too vanilla for me. I can't get it. I don't follow Instagram models. I don't get it. That is, if Dan was here, Dan Soder's Dan's very vanilla, so he's excited by a pretty girl in a bikini, but I'm like, you can see a girl just that pretty spread and gash all over the internet.
Yeah, we've talked
with the same amount of
you and I have talked briefly.
Yeah, but that's like
about you.
But it weirdly gets... There's weirdly something almost about those bikini models that then the allure of that becomes kind of hotter. You know what I mean? Because it's like if you, like we've talked about this before, but if you could say there's some chick who always does bikini modeling, and then they're like, oh, she did a nude picture. People will be like, oh, excited for that. But if there's like someone you've seen do porn and they're like, she did a nude picture, you're like, well, yeah, I'm like, of course.
I don't
like,
respect anyone that dates, sorry to cut you off, but I don't respect anybody that dates another pretty person. Like, why don't you up your game? Find someone that's kind of fucked up. Find someone with like a weird eye and say, look at me, I'm doing something right.
I think that's down your game.
Well, I'll tell you exactly why they don't do that, but this was so great about it, and this was my annoyance with we talked a little bit about yesterday, the VMAs, the Video Music Awards. It's all this big...
Oh, those VMAs.
Yeah. The MTV Awards, the whole thing is about, acceptance and so what, and people are who they are and love everyone.
When can racism get an award show?
I know, right? But it's all like, it's like everyone love each other and everyone, by the way, as they're doing these messages, are on their phones in the audience, which is great. And everyone is kind of like, yeah, I know, don't be mean to fat people. And it's like, hey, Instagram, I don't want you to fuck this fat guy. Like, ew!
Exactly. What a jerk-off generation we have.
Because it's such a phony generation. It's like, look, they got it completely wrong. It's like, you want to get past racism, that's fine. But the message of getting past racism isn't like, because all races are wonderful. No, you fucking retard. It's because we all suck. Alright? That's why you should get past racism. Because we're all pieces of shit. Everyone, it's not like Black Lives Matter or all lives matter. Yeah. Guess what? No lives matter. Like, maybe 4 lives on the planet matter. The rest of you are just part of the billions who are meaningless.
It's unapologetic.
Yeah. The guy who started Girls Gone Wild, look suicide.
Sorry, not sorry. It's a whole generation that does that shit. That's how you know they're awful.
Oh my, sorry,
If you can't accept me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. What the fuck kind of world are we living in?
Lux, you appear to be some sort of ethnic something or other. Am I correct?
Yeah. I'm half Dominican. I'm a Jew-Minican.
Jewish
oh my God.
Yeah.
What did that Dominican do to fool that Jew?
Happens procreating. You know what happens a lot too? Julumbians. Colombian Jews happens a lot.
Oh, that's just called Jewish vacation.
Hey, what was that guy in Welcome Back, Kotter? Was he a Jewish Puerto Rican?
Horseshack? Oh, no.
What's his name? Epstein.
Juan Epstein.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was thinking Horseshack too. It made no sense. Why did I go to Horseshack first?
You think Kotter, you always think Horseshack. Now we just completely confused Lux suicide. We are way too old for her. Well, that just showed you that.
Maybe
How old are you?
32.
Oh, you should know that reference.
Welcome Back, Kotter?
Yeah, that I know.
Yeah.
The horse one I don't.
Horseshack?
No.
You don't know Welcome Back, Kotter if you don't know Horseshack. He's a, ooh.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I remember his name.
Clarence Boombo.
Right.
Hello, Mr. Kotter.
Mr. Kotter.
Yeah.
I looked at Lux Suicide's work online the other day. Doesn't waste time with bathing suits
right
like
up
this
your alley,
asshole.
actually.
Yeah, she goes for it big time.
Now,
hardcore.
what is Suicide Girls? I know I've seen some pictures and stuff, but what is the Suicide Girl like hardcore stuff? I thought it was just like pictures. Like,
it's just pictures, but we're very naked on the internet. We don't hide anything.
Very naked.
You can only get naked.
No.
That's the maximum naked.
It's not like Playboy that's very pretty. Nudity.
Playboy's like a painting of a naked girl. It's not even like a picture.
Right. We're a little more natural. We're more spread, I think.
Yes, that's what
pretty.
That's what it is. No, but the thing is, it's showing like asshole and pussy.
We show everything.
They don't show that on Playboy.
You count all the rings.
Let me see. None of these are pictures of anything. But these are, and there's a lot more, obviously it's like a lot more like, the style of Playboy, it would be like no tattoos and like that kind of thing, and this is more,
We have piercings, we have alternative lifestyles, everything is accepted on SG. You can be a prostitute and have your own thing, your own group on SG where you're like, hey, so this is what my John was like last night, and have like a blog about it. And it's like totally acceptable.
Oh, good. I'm looking for a home for my blog.
John.
I'm looking for a home for I've been independently producing it all this time. There's a place where I can go talk about my Johns. Complaints.
Finally a voice for
it is, I'll tell you, so I dated this girl, this was like a couple of years ago. I dated this girl who was kind of like, I don't know what to say, like
YouTube model.
YouTube, Instagram kind of like, like bikini model type chick. And just from her, hanging out with her friends and stuff, I had no idea. It really opened my eyes to how prevalent, I wouldn't even call it prostitution, but like, really high level hot chicks have relationships where it's like I get a salary basically like like it's like where they're fucking like it's so prevalent.
Sugar daddy, sugar baby.
Yes, they advertise seeking arrangements. It's a popular website.
Like for women,
exactly what it is.
For women who are 9s or 10s, that's like just a real possibility that they're like, I'm not saying all of them, but for a lot of them that they're always considering in a relationship is like you could have like a regular relationship or you could just go find some fucking rich dude who's gonna like give you like, you just be like, I get $5,000 a week, and let me tell you something.
On SDR show this week, we had on porn star Danny Daniels, who was breathtakingly hot.
Can I see a picture? Because I've never known by name.
Her husband, her fiance, who definitely seems like a very cool guy. When you look at him, you're definitely like, there's something like this guy's definitely got some scratch, or he's like provides some security for, which I'm fine. I don't really, but it's always she's making concessions on one thing because she is.
There's an arrangement of.
She's holy
really
shit hot.
The porn star husband. It's always like two categories. He's either like the guy who like he's just like he could be in the porn with her, like he comes in with like a mohawk and tattoos, or he's the guy who looks like he deserves no part of this. Like he's just like the khaki pants guy who's like
the guys that I'm the most scared of. The ones that the ones that are able to get them, like they're so deep. They're so deep in it. You're like, this guy probably have my fucking throat cut. There's something about this guy to get her.
He's
her
sponsor. A lot of dirt. He's sponsoring her life.
But what's funny about that is like I am envious in some weird way of guys who are willing to also accept that in some weird way. It's like, look, this girl can definitely be with a guy who looks equally as good as her.
Yeah.
But she's going with me because I provide some different thing. I would hate, like, if you were like, hey, let's hang out. I'm like, what do you want? I don't have anything to give you.
What do you want from me?
What do you want? Just straight up fucking cash? I can't do that. I don't have the, if you're like, no, you seem like a cool guy, I want to hang out. I don't believe, get it the fuck away from me. You suck. What do you want from me?
I just changed the game with that too because DMs, there's probably a lot of girls that probably would never have considered to be like escorts, but have been like, a free trip to Maui and I can bring 2 of my friends?
Well, that's right. And it's not like if you wanted to do that in like the 80s or something like that, it just feels like it would have to be done in a somewhat grimy way. Whereas now it could just all be kind of sexy. It's like, it was just like, I'm on. You could just like, when you're like those chicks who are like, if you're a 10 and you're on like Tinder or some shit like that, everyone's swiping right on you. Like nobody's not, picking up. So you get to just, look through there and go, I'll just take the rich ones. And then kind of like, if someone's like, let me take you here, you're like, yeah. And you don't even really need it's not really being a whore. It's just being like.
A famous comedian brought, when I did, the Australian.
Kevin Hart.
I did the Australian leg of Just for Laughs.
Jerry Seinfeld, Bucks Trannies.
He brought
it here first.
He brought 2 diner waitresses with him that he definitely wanted to fucking hook up with for sure. And they kind of wandered off and started like
mingling with others.
Yeah, it felt kind of weird.
I brought you here to make me pancakes.
You felt kind of weird for him, but I think he's like a wealthy enough guy. You just see there's a thing in him that he was just kind of he didn't really seem to give a shit. Ultimately, he was kind of like, well, that's kind of the risk you take. You fly him out here, and then they might do something else. But I'm like, why did you want them? It's like, it seems like a weird thing just to do.
It sounds like a hassle too. I really like being by myself. That sounds like a hassle. If I know someone's not into me and I'm flying them out.
But he didn't know that. But they weren't staying with him. See, you gotta think of it, everything's like a ratio. So if you're talking about people who are like way richer than us, it's like you gotta think about that like if you like Uber to check in. It's just like whatever. Who the fuck cares? If you got the money, like who cares?
We've never officially got to it, but there's, in that, Hot Girls Wanted thing, documentary, the series.
That.
The series.
Wait, that's a series?
There's a series now.
It was the documentary though.
No,
okay, I saw the documentary.
Is that the one about amateur porn?
6, yeah.
Okay,
but there's a 6
Is
episode
it amateur?
series.
I thought it was professional. No,
it's pro. It's amateurs into pro. They're trying to get like model houses.
But there was that. They had the MILF one too. They have all of them kind of.
It's like the Bang Bus, that whole world. It's a great documentary. It's on Netflix.
But it's made. I've heard other porn stars kind of like it makes the porn industry look very grimy, and like that the girls don't like it. And I've heard a lot of chicks who are in the industry be like, it's really, they kind of make it seem shittier than it is.
Well, no, that's that South Florida fucking.
That's what they said. That's what they said. Is that
minor league? It's like playing baseball in Tallahassee or something.
That's what it is. You're really right. It's the
sure,
minor
you get
league.
your skills up there, but it's not where you make your money.
Take some good cuts.
Almost all of them leave the business from those, and they like they didn't make any money with it. Yeah. But on the series, one of them is about a guy in Australia who looks, this bothers me so much, disturbingly like me, who is, this bothers me a lot, who just is into this webcam girl. He goes to her every day, but she's also has affection for him, and she's married, and that guy's like there in the room while she talks to the guy, and they say, I love you and all this shit, and then the guy flies her out. Dude, this actually pulled my heartstrings so much. He flies her out to Australia, and she's so excited to go. Almost telling with her husband, too. It's like, hey, look, I gotta go see if my feelings for this guy are anything for real, you know? And the husband's like, I understand, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And
he seems cool.
What an open book he is.
They go. Or she flies out to Australia, dude, and the second she gets there, you could see before she even gets there, you're like, and the girl's not even like unbelievable hot or anything, but it's just a thing where he's like, she's just not going to be into this, I could tell. And she does like the first night though, I'm going to stay in a hotel just so I have my own space, and I kind of figure out from there, and then we'll see how tomorrow is. And just every day they hang out, and he's like, I think it's going really good. I think it's going good, man. And then when they just show her, she's like crying. She goes, I feel so bad, but I can't. Look at his face.
Oh, shit.
It's episode 5 of that one, but dude, it's so fucking, but the guy, I feel for him so much because I just see myself in him in some weird way. I'm like, just hanging out with some girl you don't want to fucking hook up with.
I've
got the famous story of the girl I brought on the road who I didn't want to hook up with, and I just kept drinking milkshakes, and I kept drinking milkshakes until I would have to shit myself.
Instead of saying I don't like you, he literally shits his pants to turn her off.
It wasn't my pants, but I would be in a rush. It would make my stomach sick, and by drinking a milkshake. I don't know, milkshakes hurt me for some reason. And the third night we were hanging out at this diner, and I would do everything. Spend time not in the hotel with her, and then the last night we're at the diner, and I go, let me get like a turkey club, and I know it's gonna kill me, but I love him so much. Let me get one of those milkshakes. Then she goes, you don't have to do this. I went, what? What do you mean? She's like, you don't have to make yourself sick. We don't have to fool around. And I go, I don't even know. I just love milkshakes. This is crazy. She just called me on it, and then like the awkward drive back. The fucking, like, the city,
That is awkward. I've had a few times where there's just a chick where you're like, I can't do it. I think women have it easier because you just have to do that every day, 95 times a day. Like, I'm sure that's like life most of the time. Like that's your life. So you're like, all right, you get used to it. But for a guy to ever have to turn down a chick, it just feels so weird. You're like, I'm not supposed to do this, but I
never wanted to think a girl's feeling that way with me. That's why I ask 4,000 questions every step of the way. I'm like, you sure you want to hang out? You sure you want to come back? Yeah. You sure? You want to, want me to almost prop the door open so you can just run away if you want to run away? Or is there anything like you want to? You just want me to chain myself to the radio like a werewolf? And
that's silly.
When your dick finally goes in her, though, are you then confident?
Yeah.
Is that like enough of a green light for you to feel okay?
I had a girl one time who was really hot. She came back and I was just I told the story 1,000 times, but like, she was so hot and I just didn't think she was back there to do anything. And I'm talking about let's say got to the room at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 7 in the morning, you hear birds chirping outside, and I go, hey, so hey, you done listening to look, I figured out how to work GarageBand, look at this beat I made. I'm like showing her, I mean, it's the worst shit that I have no talent at.
No, bro, you got game.
Yeah, I want to listen to music, and then I finally go,
just I go beat. You just have a
not even a joke with a premise, a punch.
I mean, this out. I mean
I made this, I swear.
I always make it Lewis. When it's stupid, we always make it a Lewis voice. Hey, look what I've done. We only make it Lewis. Hey, check out this dope ass beat I made, doggy. So no, I bring her back and I go in the bath. I gotta pee real quick. I go in the bathroom, and when I come out, the lights are off, and I see her clothes on the floor, and she's under the blanket. And I laid down next to her in the bed and I go, so what do you want to do now? And she goes, oh my God. She goes, dude, I'm in your bed naked. And I went, okay, there's the signal. I'm like, if I really took her to be like, she was like, fuck it, put dick in here.
And then the first 15 minutes of Jay having sex is working that dry vagina wet again from her. Just being like, is it okay? Are you sure? I'm really not sure about myself. He's like,
we smoke weed, so I can't even get a good, like, spit up to do anything. Like, I was still dry here. There's nuts, dust.
Remember 4.5 hours ago when you were excited to come fuck in a hotel room?
We have Lux Suicide, Josh Accardo hanging out with us in studio. Dave Smith here filling in for Dan Soder. Their show, again, the Social Hour, premieres at Caroline's on Broadway. That's going to be Wednesday, September 6th at 8 p.m. Get your tickets at carolines.com. Use code SELFIE for $10 tickets. You guys are going to hang out with us for the next half hour, right? We've got a half-hour show. We're going to take a quick break, our final break, and then we're going to come back. I want to take this call from Jason in Minneapolis. Says he needs some relationship advice. And, I mean, there's a suicide girl here. How are we going to say no? We got a married guy.
Yeah.
We got two guys in relationships with girls who they are not sure, they're uncertain of their futures. We have Jacob, who is a career single dude. Hasn't found the right fucking pig to slap his fucking peg into yet. Am I right? Fuck those slobs, right, Jacob? No, that's not Jacob's style at all. Lou, who only fucks girls who used to fuck black guys. And Black Lou, who's allergic to black pussy. We'll be right back, everyone. It's the Bonfire.
And now, back to the Bonfire with Big J. Oakerson and Dan Soder.
Oh, you gotta love that. That is some silk shirt rock right there. That's what I call it. Silk shirt rock, everybody. It's Player, Baby Come Back. I like being a real DJ. That's Player with Baby Come Back right here on the hits. WCCR, Comedy Central Radio, Sirius XM 95.
Is there one guy in this building still hanging on to that?
Oh yeah. Hanging on to that kind of music and playing DJing like that?
That kind of radio DJing?
Fucking
is that
absolutely.
still existing?
Absolutely.
I don't listen to a lot of radio. I just today found out that you and Dan Soder have a show. But
on the Bonfire.
I'm happy to be here. But is there still people who are like, that was just the latest jam?
Oh my God.
Yeah?
I mean, absolutely. Christine, you were playing it up there. Let that roll. I'm going to hear that. That's great. The Baby Come Back in American Dad scene. When he asked him to help him fight at the movie theater. This is so funny.
Just let it go, Dad.
You want to throw down?
I'll throw down.
You got my back?
I'll scratch your back. I can do the backstroke. I can sing Baby Come Back. Baby Come Back. Any kind of fool could see there was something in everything about you. Yeah. Baby Come Back. You can blame it all on me. I was
Oh. Roll a few checks with my mouth, bud.
At the Bonfire SXM, you can catch that. We are sitting here with the lovely Lux Suicide and the hilarious Josh Accardo. We have one call on the line. I'm not bragging. The phone lines are just fucking off the chains with one phone call from Minnesota's Jason. I know a Jason from Minnesota. Is this the Jason I know? Jason?
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I've been to one of your shows before. I don't know if I ever met you personally.
Oh, no, I know a guy, Jason Hoffman from Minneapolis, comes to all the shows. But that is very awesome, Jason. Thank you for calling. You're on the Bonfire with relationship expert Lux Suicide.
Give it to me.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
What do you got?
I'd like to say thank you for taking this call.
That'd be funny. He's like, what do I do? I'm feeling very lonely. She's like, get a tattoo on your clit? I don't know.
Just don't send me a dick pic.
Ever?
I mean, maybe, if you ask nice.
There you go. That was an easy come around. All right, fine.
So I guess this would all go back to about a year ago. I had just put my grandma into hospice, God rest her soul. She passed away on June 22nd last year. She's a great lady. That same night that
my advice would be to move on. Get a new grandma.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the depression shit. I had a really close friend of mine, something that I thought would be a lot bigger in my life. She called me about 9 at that night, and it's like, you know what? I haven't really talked to a lot of people about this, but I'm pregnant. I was like, oh, all right. She's like, yeah, and also on top of that, I also took an internet, like, abortion pill, whatever the fuck it was.
The internet abortion pill?
Wow. That's common. I think it was I don't even know what the fuck it was. But
you're gonna want the ones from Pakistan, though. You don't want to get those bullshit ones from Mexico.
Yeah, I know. She did her research. She got some shit. Did the fucking job. She was telling me at that point that she had been 5 months pregnant at that point. So I kind of had to take a step back and figure out, like, why.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, is that your baby?
No, it is not mine.
Okay.
It is not.
Wait, hold on. I'm confused. I didn't realize there was a pill you could get an abortion at 5 months in with.
No way.
I thought that worked for a day.
Yeah. No. Carl took one of those. Now Isabella's 14. It didn't work. Isabella's 14 now. It did not work.
She's slow. So it did something. I'm just saying.
It wasn't. It was abortion.
How can you have an abortion with a pill at 5 months in?
It works for 72 hours.
Yeah, none of this is making any sense.
No, you're thinking of the morning after pill.
Morning after
this
pill.
is the RU486. It induces miscarriage. So it's supposed to be something.
Like before 4 months?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the first trimester you can take.
So you're telling me she took a pill and then gave birth to whatever?
I mean, is that what happened? At 5 months in, that's crazy.
Well, you and Christina are profess whores, so.
God damn it.
So up to 72 hours and 4 months, which is exactly, break that down to just be, let's see.
It says 2 to 9 weeks you're supposed to take it.
2 to 9 weeks. So she's lying. Go ahead, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 5 months after pill or whatever the fuck.
There's no such thing as a 5 month after pill.
I think we're worried now that she was lying to you all around. Maybe she was just fat.
No, I mean, I had a lot of faith in this girl. She'd been a friend of mine for over a decade at that point.
Aww. She had been pregnant for over a decade at that point. So you gotta, how could I not have faith in her?
She takes an abortion pill. It's a daily pill, though. She's always taking it. We're always having an abortion.
Oh my God, I missed my abortion pill. Don't come inside me.
It's okay. I was on the sugar pill week.
I don't pretend to know what went through her mind. It was something completely beyond my understanding at this point.
Okay.
So she did that. She had only told one person. She did that about like 1 month into it, and he chose to do nothing about it because he was a fucking useless piece of shit.
Right.
So that day, I drove her to the urgency.
What was that guy's name? Kyle? They're always pieces of shit.
Hey, my brother's name.
Not that Kyle.
He's cool.
Yeah. Anyways, he didn't choose to do anything. I drove her to urgent care because, you know, I fucking cared. And that's what got me. So I did that and ended up that she needed to go to the emergency room.
So did you end up in a relationship with this girl?
God, that is a long story that I don't think we have time for.
Holy shit, there's no possible way we have time for that, Jason. Because Lux Suicide just gave me the wrap it up sign. She's only been on the show for 40 minutes.
Yeah, dude, I got the wrap.
Where are we going, Jason?
Black Lou seems to believe that you're in love with her and she never wanted to be with you and you're friend zoned. But that's Black Lou. He's a smooth black motherfucker, so.
Yeah.
Yo, I think he's onto some shit because I'm still not with her. At this point.
Wearing that mask
So
of
it
false
ended up
bravado, brother. That's the problem.
She gave like a live birth to an unfortunate child that died within about 10 minutes of being born prematurely. So I had to deal with the fallout of that even. You know, I helped her get through all that. She fucking cried on my shoulder. I was the only person that she wanted to talk to. And she told me everything. But the whole confusing thing is so she got with this guy at some bullshit job, and she waited 5 months to tell anybody about that. She told me about that day, and she made me promise her to not even tell her mother. She's in the backyard fucking mowing the lawn. I'm like, all right, let's take you.
Jason, what's the advice you need, Jason?
Can I just cut? I can cut and give you your advice already, dude. Here's the thing, right? If some girl ever came to you, right? Let's say some chick ever came to you and said, like, hey, I will blow you. I will worship you. I will get down on my knees and say you are the God in heaven. I will do everything you want.
For me, bro.
Everything you want from a chick, and you don't have to commit to me at all. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be my boyfriend, and I will do all of that for you. And then there was a guy who wasn't making her his girlfriend. And then she was coming around and going, man, this guy just won't make me his boyfriend. What do you think I'm doing wrong? And I'd be like, well, you're being a doormat for him. So if this chick isn't giving you what she wants, which is for you to be with her or whatever, and you're giving her everything, you're giving her all the support of a boyfriend without getting what a boyfriend gets, then the problem is you. Don't do that anymore, and have a little bit more self-esteem where you fucking say, no, before I give you everything and I give you a shoulder to cry on, I demand that I am your fucking man. That's it.
Also, Deauville Rule 137. Don't ever put your dick in no abortion pussy. Deauville Rule 137.
Deauville's the, Also, there's no such thing as a 5-month pill abortion. This didn't happen.
I just found this article, and it can induce, basically you induce labor and you give birth to a premature baby.
Oh, good. Well, Christine, we're out of the deep water. Order 2. Oh, thank God. I thought we were going to have this monster.
I say he stays with her. I say he tries to make it work. I mean, love conquers all. This guy needs to make it work. He needs to stick it out. Be a real man, okay? She needs you.
No. You're saying this guy's got to hang in there.
You got to hang in, brother.
You don't mean that. That's the sound of a man who just got married and wants everybody else to fucking not get pussy anymore.
There, man.
No, you do whatever she needs. You drive her all over. You know how much she loves those Wendy's fries. You bring her Wendy's fries every day. And rubber feet. And let her tell you about other dudes she wants to fuck.
By the way, I think I'm a big believer in the fact that you can break out of the friend zone. I mean, I haven't been in a friend zone in like fucking 2 decades because I let him know right away that I want to fuck you. Yeah. But you could break out of a friend zone tomorrow. Here's how you do it. You just go, oh, you know what? I'm done.
But it's going to cost you everything.
No, let him know. Well, here's what you have to do. You have to just say, I'm done. I walk away. And then the next day you will get a phone call from her like, wait, why did you like leave from that? You just can turn around.
But you're not definitely going to get hooked up
tomorrow.
No, you're not definitely going to hook up.
Okay,
but you look at that phone call.
It's not 100%. But what you have to do right away is just go, I'm done. You go, you know what? You literally have to tell her tomorrow. You go, you know what? I've just realized I can't just sit here listening to all your problems. I got to find something for myself.
Missing? What have you set up? What was the value before that? Because you have some value you have to set up before
your value has already been set up that you're her shoulder to cry on. So as soon as you go like fucking like, you know what? I just realized this shoulder needs to get pussy for it to be cried on. Sure. And then you leave, and then she's sitting there and she'll go like, oh, you know what? Well, let me, and it'll just that enough will probably intrigue her.
I just got this pill off the internet. Can I come have an abortion at your house? Can I come have an abortion at your house, Jason? Jason, your house is so much better for abortions. You have linoleum floors. Mine's hardwoods. It's gonna get in the cracks.
This is my advice to guys. Is
I already named him Michael. I want to have Michael at your house.
No, you can keep Michael.
Oh, named him Michael. What do I do with this bowl of Michael?
Listen.
Oh my God.
Is there an African warlord who wants to make soup out of this or something?
Does a bowl of Michael go in the recycling?
Do I gotta put it out with special pickup with my couch?
Because that's only Thursday and Sunday.
Is any of this helping Jason?
Yeah, man, that's pretty much what it worked up to. You know, I was trying to be the better guy in all of this. Like,
no. You're not being the better guy. Dude, stop patting yourself on the back for being a bitch. I'm sorry. I hate when guys do this. You're patting yourself on the back for being a fucking pussy. Guys do this all the time. You're not standing up for what you actually want, and then you're going, well, that's me just being the noble guy. That's just being a fucking coward, dude.
Yeah,
that's not
take
being
that
noble.
Pussy! Go get it!
I'm just saying, dude, stand up. When a man is not a fucking man, it makes you miserable. You're acting like a bitch and you're making yourself miserable. And guess what? It makes her miserable too. Stand up. Being a man, it's not, I just don't like this shit where they go, well, I'm just being the really good guy by being like, I don't even care about having sex with you. That's being a phony. That's not being a good guy. Stand up and tell her the fucking truth, which is you're not happy.
That's Dave's new blog, Sex in the City. That's Sex in the City. With Dave Jessica Parker.
I've been in the opposite situation as a girl where it's like I puppy dogged around a guy I thought was cute for 2 years.
You're Mr. Biggs?
And, you know,
You're Biggs?
Was super nice to him and all this. And it's like, he didn't like me. He did not want to fuck me. If he wanted to be with me, he would have been with me. And
he did fuck you.
Towards the end, after like a year and a half, I got thrown dick a couple times. I mean, it was so ridiculous.
So Christine's telling, if you want to fuck her at least once, hang out for a year or two.
But it was so ridiculous. It made me feel so pitiful. And the whole time I'm going, he's my best friend though, but he's my best friend. It's disgusting.
I mean, I always want you to tell the thing he said when you guys were having sex is the craziest thing.
It was the craziest thing. We were having sex and I was on top of him. He goes, you don't look that fat from this angle.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This guy was really like, and I loved.
So now when I say things like, you don't look so fat tonight, I seem like a hero. Because that was way worse. That was in her most vulnerable moment. But I'm like, you don't look so fat tonight. When she's dressed and everything.
You gave her the whole night. He just gave her an angle. That angle can disappear in a second, Jay.
Like, I went to his, family's house with him. Like, we were,
you don't look so fat from that angle. It's gone.
You turned your roll now.
I think if you're too nice, you end up in the friend zone.
Not after
that.
As a guy? After that was
I think if you're too nice, you end up in the friend zone.
No.
You can be nice, but it's after a certain point.
If you're nice, you can end up in a friend zone if you're nice and the girl has no sort of attraction to you.
There's nothing wrong with being polite and assertive, men, okay? It's not a thing where you have to be so nice. If you're polite and assertive. You can
that's exactly, you know what, you just fucking nailed it. That's exactly right, because it's that thing where I think you can be very nice. You can be actually super sweet, but it's not being sweet. If some girl does something, like, I could be very sweet to my girlfriend and be like, I love you, baby, you're beautiful. And then if she does something that annoys me, be like, hey, that bothers me, stop doing that. If she does something that annoys me and I go, well, you're still just really beautiful. That's just me being a bitch. That's not being, it's not being nice. That's not being sweet. That's just being, like, afraid of my own shadow so I can't stand up for who I am.
I say it with stomach punches. No bruising and no story to tell.
Beautiful. Night. Sweetheart.
Is that the socks I bought you?
Accountability, gentlemen. That's it. That's all we're talking about here.
Accountability, that is it.
Did you get the flowers I sent to your job?
So did it make those bitches at work jealous? I know Sherry's been getting on your elbow drop nerves. Jason, I think what we're trying to say is next time she's at your house, just pull your dick out, start jerking off, man. It's your house, your rules.
Yeah.
If she wants to hang, then we know she's in. If she's not, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lux Suicide just said, be assertive. Stop being so nice, you poon.
Stop being so nice.
Pull out your dick and just reverse grip it. That's a good so I ask questions. So goes, is that how you jerk off? And you're like, yeah, why? Just pinky up and reverse gripping. And by the way, just so you know how much I like you, Jason, for the pantomime of you jerking off, I was doing a real long, curvy stroke.
You had a great dick in that pantomime,
It was a good
Jason.
10, 11 incher. So, living that mystery.
Got that going for you, Jason.
We're all rooting for you, dude, although I don't think it's going to happen. I think this girl...
Time to take the loss, my friend, and move on.
Yeah.
You got to get on with it.
Maybe after her next abortion, you play it different.
Why did she wait 5 months?
Huh?
Why did she wait 5 months? Did she not know she was pregnant for 5 months?
No, but then when she found out it was the black guy. Come on, somebody.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Black Lou nailed it. She was still hanging out. She was still holding out hope to drag that other guy into a relationship.
Oh, the guy that she liked? Oh, yeah.
I don't want this fucking baby.
She was hanging in there. The guy's
Black Lou, just let us know why he doesn't fuck black chicks.
By the way, any black women out there want to call and yell at Black Lou for only dating one white chick ever?
Oh, I would love that.
We only have 10 more minutes to show, but if you're out there listening and you're a black woman who's got some issues with Lou, by the way, Black Lou, when he said he only dated a half black woman, and we said, I bet black women hate that. And Lou goes, oh yeah, black women hate us. Oh no, but you were talking about you and your chick together as a group, right?
Yeah.
Your chick's gotta eat that. Has she ever dealt with that? Has she ever said anything to a lady?
She's never said anything, but
she would like, feast your eyes, bitch.
Yeah, she sees the looks.
Huh?
He said she sees the looks.
Oh, really?
She sees, like, people...
Oh, she just say stuff. Like, oh, yeah, I moved this one in the house.
Because black women get angry, right, when you don't date black women.
Yeah.
They start fights.
Definitely. Especially since that fucking Get Out movie came out. Now it's like they're all the rage now.
Oh, that's right. That did stoke it back up. Ironically, the director of fucking the movie is married to a white woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ironically.
Hilarious.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Jordan Peele's married to, right? He got married to Chelsea, right? Yeah. That's fucking crazy. I mean that Chelsea Peretti is famous. No, I'm kidding. No, I know Chelsea. She was at open mics as a comic strip, man. It's fucking, yeah, it's great. But yeah, it's so funny that they did it. It brought it up again. Like, oh, you see, you fuck with a white bitch, you're gonna end up getting, mind controlled. Like, that's the message that the movie sent right there. That's true. You can always do that, Jason. You can hypnotize her. Maybe hypnotize the girl into believing that she's yours. Are you single?
I am.
Lux, are you?
I am. I'm very single right now.
Are you really?
I am.
Very single.
What can I do?
Yeah. Like my last relationship ended only a month ago.
You looking for a guy you can laugh and cry about an abortion with?
I'm not.
I got a friend in Minneapolis.
That's not what does it for me.
I got my homie Jason in Minneapolis looking for that if you want to cry about some shit.
I need a shoulder to cry on.
You're very single? Is it recently single? Because when you say very
for a month,
single.
yeah.
I was going to say, when you say very single, it means like now you're like, fuck that last guy.
No, very implies
girl,
like.
It was a girl.
It was a girl. Are you full?
I go both ways.
Both.
Fluid, yeah.
Are you
now,
bisexual? When you're with a girl, I bet Christine's got a million questions.
By the way, so you're the in the LGBT community.
I don't know.
I feel like B is the one who gets no respect at all. Like no one's ever fighting for bisexual rights ever. It's just you're lucky you got grouped into that. It was about to be LGT.
Because we have our cake and eat it too. Nobody cares about us.
You guys are just out there coming all the time. I don't care about you people.
Wait,
you can't get down the street without fucking something.
Are you saying you want to eat Christine's cake? Sorry, I zoned.
We want to hear here at the Bonfire.
Absolutely. If we do. We take everything in as we want to hear it. Bisexual though, because you know why? Why it gets overlooked so much? Because it's really, I think even in the gay community deemed to be only women that really go with that.
No, I think bisexual men exist. I didn't believe this until like a couple years ago.
I believe
bisexual men exist.
I believe it's because I believe bisexual men is based on they're gay, but I
tried to hold on to this view for a while, but it's not true.
But they grew up trying not to be gay, so they hooked up with girls, and that feels physically good, so like, I can swing it either way.
I'm with you. There are dudes who are straight guys who will get their dick sucked by guys occasionally.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, but there are guys like, Zach Amico is a guy like that. Like, there are guys like that who are just like, I felt the exact same way you do, but we're just forcing our thing onto them. We're going, nah, dude, if you like dick, you'd have to be gay, and then you're just faking the other thing. I think there's just people who fucking, but it's far less common.
No rights for them. No, no. Okay, well then that's the one group. No rights.
I kind of, can you be like, even with the thing where you're like, I'm for LG, half of B and T.
LG feminine B.
Like, where does that put me on the scale? Where does this put me on the scale? Okay, cool.
By straight up guy, and I know some guys who will hook up with trannies and and women go back and forth.
So what is that?
Game. Huh?
What do you consider that?
I got a letter.
That's the T.
No, T is what they're hooking up with.
Yeah, they hook up with T's.
But that's bisexual. I mean, that's like
T's and V's and D's.
I think so.
It's kinky.
It's kink, right?
But I think it's a little bit more
general umbrella.
It's kinkery.
Look, I guess these labels are all just kind of, like nothing's completely accurate. It's just kind of like for help, just to put you in one box or another. But it's not the same thing as a dude. A dude who's like into chicks, who's straight, who's into like some crazy shit, and then once you involve something with a dick in it, it's, to me, at least in the bisexual world. No?
So much dick.
Is this still is that crazy in 2017 to say?
I don't
if you're stuck in a dick, it's a little bit not straight. Can I make that point?
What do they identify as? If they identify as a female.
I don't care what you identify as. What you identify as the most retarded thing ever. No, your identity is based on what other people identify you as. Okay? That's what matters. Like, I can sit here and be like, I identify as a genius. But it doesn't matter. It's only what you think of me. That
I think
matters.
You're a faggot. So.
Right. So then I'm a faggot. Like, if 9 people in a room think I'm a faggot and I go, well, I identify as not a faggot.
I'm a genius.
Guess what? You're a faggot.
You're like, no guys, I'm sorry, I'm a genius.
I don't think so. It's like, no, you don't. Your reputation, your identity is, I know everyone wants it to be whatever they say it is, but actually it's something society decides about you. You go out there and you are who you are, and then you get feedback and it's like, oh, it turns out I'm an asshole.
What age do you feel you can make that decision completely, though.
What?
Where you just find out what your sexuality. Like I
don't think you ever
people
decide.
make decisions very young. We know a girl recently who got a couple of young girls have done this, gotten the laser to make their pussies completely bald. And I'm like,
my ex-girlfriend
that's
did
a weird 20-something-year-old decision to make.
I tell you, I like a bald pussy, but I was with a girl who did that, and I was very like, but forever?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you could never grow a landing strip, or it's going to be weird, and you have to go back. And I also say it's weird right after they do the laser. Eventually, it gets to be like great.
It's
beautiful. But I'd say just waxing is the way to go. Fucking wax. I know they say, it hurts, but
I like threading. I like it.
I want to get threaded. So it really hurts.
Your ass. Feels like paper cut.
So you started lasering?
I started lasering and I like it, but I'm not going all the way off. I like options.
Yeah, just on
I'm doing the bikini area and like all the way back, like the Brazilian.
I guess that makes sense because you're never going to want that.
Right, asshole hair. Right, no, like just
you're never going to want butthole hair.
Like no, but I want to know.
You might want to dread it up one day if you're such a suicide girl. I thought that'd be more badass.
Remember just a completely untamed, completely untamed bush where it starts getting on the thigh, like really starts getting over there toward the side.
Why did it even grow there though?
Me and Dave filmed a thing for a show we were pitching a couple years back.
Which, by the way, 9 years later might get sold.
It's true. But we hired a girl who's a friend of a friend to do it, and she was wearing like boy shorts. It wasn't like under.
And you could still see the hair on the side.
No. Now there was, just to be said, they were playing prostitutes in the little sketch we were doing, but there was nothing sexual about it. It was just two girls who wore. So they dressed in kind of a thing that could be.
Yes, but it wasn't like.
So she wore like these little booty shorts, and then now you couldn't see anything in the booty shorts. However, we were in between scenes,
and she threw a side kick.
No, she didn't. She was showing. No, she was doing she was showing her flexibility, and that almost like
is that the first thing she was doing? We started making her do side kicks to keep showing people.
But she was doing the ballerina thing to like show she could like pull her leg all the way up, which she could do. However, when she did that, it was like this. I'm not talking about bush exposed in the booty shorts. It's like all the way to the leg. Like a fucking
Williamsburg fucking coffee shop barista.
I feel like my dad would love that. I feel like that's my dad would love that kind of shit. He's like a real 70s kind of guy.
Down the sides,
I don't think he gives a fuck.
On the thigh?
No, guys that like
I'm a bush guy.
Guys that like natural look, because that's a whole market in nude modeling.
Oh yeah.
Guys that they want all of the hair.
Hirsute. That's what it used to be called. I saw my dad's old magazines when I was younger. HIRSUIT. Hairsuit was like hairy armpits and all that shit, but I think that is. Hairy armpits is sacrilege to me. That'll turn me off to a chicken.
Like
and by the way, I've seen, dude, there was a beautiful girl.
There was a beautiful
girl who was a bartender at the Stand Comedy Club, like a couple years ago now. I mean, really gorgeous girl, and she just decided that was going to be her thing, dude, and let her armpits grow. And it takes everything. You're like, oh man, it's just like it's masculine.
And it has and hair on a woman, like when you let it grow, it has like a hair scent.
Oh
too.
yeah,
and I don't like
different
that.
Than BO.
Really?
It does. Hair has a scent.
Different kind of BO.
Yeah, it's weird. I can't do it.
Yeah, not into that
my
at
dad
all.
could smoke a Marlboro Red and eat that bush, my friend. Champion of a man.
And that's why this country used to be great.
Hey, come on, bring that bush over here, huh? Come on!
He drinks those beers where the whole tab rips off.
Drinking Stingers.
and then
he's working on a fucking old Camaro on the lawn.
Look at this girl's bush, come here!
Like, that kind of shit.
And then you go his father is like, I wish we had it that good in my day. In the Depression, we would have died for a hairy pussy to eat.
When I was fighting in Rome.
What war? When was there ever a war in Rome? 5000 BC.
Dave, I hope you had fun, dude. This show went crazy fast.
I can't believe, dude, I swear to God, when people told me, I didn't believe you had a radio show. But it is fun, and I think it's great.
Producers. Everyone's here. Josh Ricardo, Lux Suicide. They have a show, The Social Hour, premiering at Caroline's on Broadway. Amazing club right around the corner from here. It's going to be on Wednesday, September 6th at 8 p.m. Get your tickets at carolines.com. Use code SELFIE for $10 tickets. Make sure you let them know you heard about it on the Bonfire or wear your skank stuff or whatever. Always show them. We like to have the people come out and show what's going on. Dave Smith. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Of course, brother.
Dave Smith's Hour Special Libertas comes out on September 11th. Go to GasDigitalNetwork.com to purchase, and you can hear Dave's podcast, Part of the Problem, and Legion of Skanks also on Gas Digital. Dave, you know how much I love you. Dan Soder, his half hour as part of the stand-ups is available now on Netflix, and Cleveland campers, go see Dan this weekend performing at the Accidental Comedy Festival, September 1st and 2nd. Get your tickets at accidentalcomedy.com. Dan is going to be back tomorrow. We're going to be in full flux. If you want to catch me, not this weekend, but next weekend, September 7th through the 9th, I will be at Rick Bronson's House of Comedy in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Get your tickets. I'll come out and give some advice to, I had a 7-month abortion last week. Can you not come cry, Jason? Get your tickets for all my shows at bigjcomedy.com on behalf of the gang. What a fun time. Crackle, crackle. We'll see you tomorrow on the Bonfire.